At this point in time, I'd like to call this meeting of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders to order. Please rise for a moment of silence. Dennis, salute to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Margaret.
Notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Volante.
Here.
Freeholder Delina. Freeholder Polos.
Here.
Freeholder Rios.
Here.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Here.
Freeholder Valenti. Freeholder Director Rufano.
Here. Member of resolutions.
We have one this evening, recognizing Venus Majeski of Edison, as she has been named a champion of change by the White House.
Need a motion to adopt?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Volante.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rufano.
Yes. Freeholder Poles.
Venus, could you come up and join? Ladies and gentlemen, it's really a pleasure to be here tonight on behalf of my freeholder colleague, Blanquita Valenti, who unfortunately could not be with us this evening. And I know, Venus, if she was here tonight, she would proudly stand here to make this presentation. So I really speak on her behalf, but on behalf of all of us on the board. Venus has been involved in an initiative which began about 3 years ago to help prepare those in our county with disabilities for emergencies, but more importantly, to help those who have disabilities help their communities be prepared as well. It was a twofold initiative. It was recognized by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services as a program of national significance. And I want to say that again because seldom do we hear those words. A program of national significance. Quite a compliment to you on this initiative. It is called Alianza Emergency Preparedness Project Plus. Now, I asked before, what did Alianza mean? And I should have known it as a Spanish student for so many years. And Ralph, ¿cómo se dice alliance in Spanish? Alianza. There we go. I should have tested some of the students who are here today. Any Spanish students in the class? The key is that it is an alliance. It is an alliance between government, between the organizations and service organizations involved, and most importantly, those those people who we are helping, but we're not just helping them, and I think that's what made this program and this project so significant. It wasn't just helping people, it was empowering them to help others, and that's what made this such a project of national significance. Those of us who have known Venus for a long time know of her dedication to her work, her employment, and most importantly to those who her organizations have served. Now, when I first got to know Venus years ago, it was with Cerebral Palsy organization. My wife, in fact, serves on the board for the organization. Their name has changed as they have grown and developed and provide additional programs and expanded the services that they provide. And they are now called the New Jersey Institute for Disabilities, and Venus serves as the Director of Development and Community Relations there. But more importantly, everyone who has been involved in Middlesex County for any period of time, and certainly those who have been involved in human services and social services, knows Venus. Venus has always been the go-to person for any questions or issues relating to those who have disabilities, to give direction, to give guidance, to give coaching, to give advice. And there has always been a person there who is not only extremely knowledgeable, but extremely compassionate and willing to help and go out of her way on behalf of those who are in need. And that's why we believe you are a person of national significance. As far as the Board of Freeholders are concerned, the work that you've done in this county is unparalleled. It has set an extremely high standard. We thank you for this initiative, which has really helped us become a county that is much more prepared for emergencies, and most importantly, empowering those who perhaps heretofore we didn't think of as individuals who could actually be helpful to our community. So our compliments go to you, to this initiative. And I might add that not only has Venus accomplished this, but she's also been the author of and the provider of 3 other projects of national significance. So we really have a gem here with us in Middlesex County, and we're very proud to have her as a part of our team.
Thank you.
Venus, congratulations. I think I've summed up pretty much most of the elements of this resolution, and I'd like to present it to you on behalf of the Board of Freeholders, and thank you again for your continued service and commitment to our residents and to our county, and we hope that you can continue to come up with great and unique ideas to make our county even a better place to live each and every day.
I hope so too.
Please.
Thank you all so much, and thank you for taking your time. And I really would be remiss if I didn't really tell you that these programs are always very difficult and very competitive. And when you are recognized in such a way on a national level, it certainly means a lot. But when it comes from local, when it comes from the people that you know, for me today is even more heartfelt, and I thank you for that. And with me tonight is the president of New Jersey Institute for Disabilities, Dominic Ursino, and Robert Farrar, our executive director, who certainly, without their support and guidance, none of this would have been possible. But I want to just take a few moments to just expand a little bit on what Freeholder Polo said. And I was so happy that he really understood the heart of this program. While we work very hard to prepare people with disabilities for natural emergencies, natural disasters, it's really those personal problems, those personal disasters that come up very frequently in their lives that they need to be prepared for. But in doing so, we've met so many wonderful people who are now members of your local CERT teams, who are now coming from your neighborhoods. We started in Perth Amboy, and that's our prime focus. But now it's people from throughout the county who are now participating in shelter drills. And I've had the opportunity to work very closely with John Ferguson, and I must say he is a gem. He is a gem in that he shares the commitment that all people are contributing, and all people should be recruited in to serve each other. And we learned last year that the county and none of the shelters, the Red Cross shelters, none of the shelters had technology which would help people with disabilities. And so we wrote a companion grant, and we were successful. And I'm very proud to say that now the county cache, your county cache, has laptops and iPads and printers and all of the other accessories that go along with it that will be used solely for Middlesex County. And we were very proud to do that. So we do try to be partners. It's not about taking, it's about giving. And so I thank you all tonight. I thank you for this wonderful resolution and for this opportunity. Thank you.
And I also would like to recognize Tom Selheimer and Judy Cusmano from our Department of Human Services for their efforts and continued commitment to these endeavors as well in Middlesex County. Thank you, Director.
Thank you. Correspondence?
Each freeholder has been provided with a list of correspondence received by the clerk's office since our last meeting. This correspondence will be kept on file in the office of the clerk of the board for reference.
Need a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Fielder Tamara. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We now need to deviate from the regular order of business to consider 4 public hearings on ordinances.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on April 9th, 2012. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held April 5th, 2012.
The clerk will read ordinance number 398 by title only.
Bond ordinance providing for 2012 general capital improvements and the acquisition of equipment for the Middlesex County Vocational and Technical High Schools located within the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, appropriating $3,100,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3,100,000 bonds or notes of the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, for financing such appropriation, and authorizing a public hearing to be held Thursday, April 19th, 2012, at 7 p.m. and publication thereof.
At this point in time, I'd like to open the meeting up to the public for comment on ordinance number 398. Anyone from the public on 398?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Fielder Tamara. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to adopt ordinance number 398.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Fielder Tamara. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamara.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Next.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on April 9th, 2012. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held April 5th, 2012.
Clerk will read ordinance number 399 by title only.
Bond ordinance providing for the undertaking of 2012 capital improvements at and for certain facilities of Middlesex County College located within the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1,500,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,500,000 bonds or notes of the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, for financing such appropriation, the principal of and interest on the aggregate principal amount of which will be entitled to state aid pursuant to Chapter 12 of the laws of New Jersey of 1971, and authorizing the public hearing to be held on Thursday, April 19th, 2012, at 7 p.m. and publication thereof.
At this point in time, I'd like to open up to the public for comment on ordinance number 399. Anyone from the public on ordinance number 399?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Fielder Tamara. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion to adopt ordinance number 399 on final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Fielder Tamara. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
Next, notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on April 9th, 2012. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held April 5th, 2012.
Clerk will read ordinance number 400 by title only.
Bond ordinance providing for various 2012 capital improvements by and in the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, appropriating $32,479,575 therefore, and authorizing $30,932,910 bonds or notes of the county to finance part of the cost thereof, and authorizing the public hearing to be held on Thursday, April 19th, 2012, at 7 p.m. and publication thereof.
At this point in time, I'd like to open the meeting up to the public on ordinance number 400. Any comment from the public on ordinance number 400?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Fielder Tamara. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to adopt ordinance number 400 on final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Fielder Tamara. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Next.
Last, notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on April 9th, 2012. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held April 5th, 2012.
Clerk will read ordinance number 401 by title only.
Bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of capital equipment and the undertaking of various 2012 capital improvements at and for facilities of Middlesex County College located within the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, the county, appropriating $2 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2 million bonds or notes of the county for financing such appropriation, and authorizing the public hearing to be held on Thursday, April 19th, 2012, at 7 p.m. and publication thereof.
At this point in time, I'd like to open the meeting up for public comment on ordinance 401. Anyone from the public on ordinance 401?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Fielder Tamara. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion to adopt ordinance number 401 on final reading.
So moved.
And a second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Need a motion to resume the regular order of business?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Polos. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. Moving on to reports of freeholders. Freeholder Carol Barrett Belante.
Thank you, Director.
You're welcome.
We just conducted public hearings on the Middlesex County capital plans for 2012. Adoptions of these ordinances, which include investments in education, infrastructure, and equipment, will ensure that we are safely and effectively enhancing the quality of life for all of our residents. These capital ordinances also are in line with the overall financial strategy of maintaining our overall cost of capital in our annual operating budgets. Thank you to my colleagues very much for their support.
Welcome.
We are in the process, in the purchasing department, streamlining our utilities billing process. The Office of Purchasing has been working with each department and various utility companies in order to consolidate and streamline the current burdening billing process. Ultimately, the goal is to consolidate over 800 individual utility bills and to convert all of the current paper processing into electronic process. This will result in an approximate reduction of 11,000 man-hours per year. Thank you. That's my report for this evening.
Thank you,
Director.
Freeholder. Freeholder H. James Paulos, who has a presentation, and I'm looking forward to seeing.
I am as well, Director. Ms. Verlazo, could you come up and join me, please? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing up with me the principal of Joyce Kilmer School in Milltown. Good evening. Welcome. Nice to see you as well. We have a very special presentation tonight that came as a result of a conversation that I had with Joe Piatanza. Joe? Joe contacted me, and I serve as chairman of the school violence committee within the county. We have a very good group that's been in existence for about 10 or 11 years now. Joe contacted me and said about a program that they were doing in Milltown. And he said, I think the county would be very interested to see the quality of this program that's being put together. Margaret, can I show you for one of those certificates? Well, this is it. Mm-hmm. And the program is called Rachel's Challenge. And it's something that's really interesting because it teaches the students how their leadership and their compassion and their understanding can make a difference not only in their schools, but in their communities as well. I would like the principal to share with you a little more information about how this program came about in Milltown. And that will be followed by about a 10-minute presentation from the students that we have here tonight. And they are eager and they've been very patient, and thank you. Now you learned a lot about county government and ordinances, and we'll test you on that later. But we thank you for being with us tonight, and we are all very much looking forward to not only looking at what the program is about, but more importantly, learning from it.
So much. Good evening, Freeholders, and good evening and welcome to our guests and our community members and our parents. My name is Janet Ferlazzo. I'm principal of Joyce Kilmer School in Milltown, New Jersey, and you might have noticed I've brought some 7th and 8th grade students with me, but I have also brought Mrs. Gerhardt, who is our facilitator for Rachel's Challenge, and our district superintendent, Dr. Linda Madison, our board president, Mrs. Barbara Piatanza, and Mr. Piatanza, who assisted us in being able to be here this evening. Milltown School District has been on the cutting edge of anti-bullying for more than 10 years. So we have had systemic programs in place long before the law came into place. But with the new law coming in this last year, we made a conscious decision to bring our anti-bullying knowledge up one level, or maybe, as you see later, several levels. So our children who are here this evening are Rachel's Challenge ambassadors.
Our teachers have been trained in this program. Our children have been trained in this program. And as a result, we see a very different culture and climate that we live in. And it is so evident that when we have guests in the school, when we take our children to programs, that we're constantly asked about, what did you train these children? How did they become this way? And this typically is our fourth program that we have presented to the public in one respect or another, and we have a very strong inclination that it probably will not be the last. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce our wonderful Joyce Kilmer children and their facilitator, Mrs. Geraldine Gerhardt. Please join me in welcoming them.
First of all, did you do all your homework before you came tonight? Okay.
Hello, my name is Sarah Lawrence. I'm here to speak to you about Peer Pep Talk and how it got started. I feel the only thing worse than being bullied is thinking that no one cares, that no one understands. Even worse, that the people who harassed me knew how much they hurt me, but still did it. When Rachel's Challenge came to my school, I thought people were going to laugh at it and walk out without a single lesson learned. But this was different. It meant so much more. It went so much deeper. I saw the people that I loved heartless cry, and people I love get teary-eyed. But what shocked me the most was the actual impact it had on the school. Programs were created, and I felt that finally, after all this time, it was safe to come to school. That I had someone to talk to, someone who would listen. And that's why I started Peer Pep Talk, to ensure that every child knows that there's someone who will listen, no matter how huge or trivial the problem is, someone can help. Now I would like to speak to you more about the program I started. As of last April, we've had several students matched up with our student ambassadors. We meet in the back of Ms. Gerhardt's room where we have a safe, comfortable, and confidential session where a student's voice can be heard without judgment. I may have been young when I created this, but I was observant. I knew that if one person could go out of their way to help another, it could start a chain reaction. Now I would like to introduce my colleague, Gemma Hurley, who will speak to you more about another excellent program in Rachel's Challenge.
In October at Joyce Kilmer Middle School, we had an assembly about Rachel's Challenge. Some of you may be more familiar with the Columbine shooting. On April 20th, 1999, two high school seniors, Dylan Kriegel and Eric Harris, came to their high school with guns. Their intention was to kill. It didn't matter who they killed, random, innocent, or classmates. They set off bombs and had a mastermind plan. No one quite knows why they did it though. To them, it seemed like a game. It didn't matter that the people that they attacked were innocent classmates. On their plan sheet, they were to have fun. And it brings my stomach to knots to hear that killing innocent people brought joy to Eric and Dylan. The big question is why? Classmates claimed that they had many friends and were quite social. They had a bright future ahead of them. Why throw that all away? After the shooting of August, Dylan and Eric committed suicide. The first to die that day was a young girl named Rachel Scott. She was considerate, genuine, and kind, and her parents started what my colleague, Debbie Piatanza, will now explain to you. Rachel's Challenge has impacted us all in a unique and life-changing way. Ever since the Rachel's Challenge came to our schools, there's been a tremendous change in everyone's attitude and their efforts to helping others. It's with Rachel's by our sides, guiding us, coaching us all to make the intelligent decisions. Not everyone has the same ethic like Rachel, yet we can all have the same intention. Even if one person starts to change, then the chain reaction will occur. The outcome may extend to all. You may even think it's impossible, but yet, look what one amazing girl, Rachel Scott, has done so far. And this can only progress in time. Just wait and see the final outcome. And now my colleague is going to go over some experience.
From my personal experience, I had two mixed feelings. I was sad and glad. I was glad to realize that there was somebody out there who genuinely cared about one another, whether they were strangers or not. She still cared. The assembly itself was sad because I was hearing about Rachel Scott's brother, what his last words were to his little sister, Rachel Scott. After the assembly, I realized that I should be more nice and caring towards others, and be mindful for what I have to say. During the training, I was also sad. My fellow classmates. They were sharing their experience, their feelings, and they cried. Suddenly, I felt the urge to cry as well. All I can say is that this challenge really changed who I am today. I'll pass the floor over to my fellow colleague, Brandon Wano, to speak to you about why Joyce Cameron wants to spread the legacy.
However, that doesn't mean it ends here. Joyce Kilmer wants to carry out the legacy of Rachel Scott. Rachel once said, "I have this theory that if one person can go out of their way to show compassion, it will start a chain reaction of the same." We want to prove that Rachel's theory is true and that hatred can be trumped over by kindness. The kindness that we want to spread is true, genuine kindness. We're not talking about picking up someone's pencil. Although it may be kind, it isn't coming from the heart. Here's an example of an act of kindness. If someone looks upset, regardless if you're friends with them or not, go up to them and ask if they are okay. If they aren't, be comforting towards them. And even if they are okay, just let them know that you're always there for them if they ever need someone to talk to. That's a genuine act of kindness. A type of kindness that can make someone feel great about themselves and make you feel 10 times better about yourself, which will lead you to do more acts of kindness. Then it will become contagious and others will do the same. Soon it will spread like a wildfire that no one has the power to put out. Our school wants to show that we can help spread kindness through everyone. The way that we're going to show our kind acts is we have these active kindness bags in each classroom, which, when we go around and you make a kind act, you fill out one of the chain links. By the end of the week, we go all around and connect the acts. Then we take all the strips of kindness and connect them to one another, which forms a chain. We've already started to create an act of kindness chain, and all it took was just one simple act of kindness. And this is just the beginning. We want this chain to be wrapping all around Joyce Kilmer, filling each hallway wall. This is an enormous task we want to fulfill, and although it may not be easy, it's possible. And a wise man once said that even the greatest oak was once a little nut and held its ground. Now my colleague, Megan Polson, will speak to you about the chain reaction going on in our schools.
As we have just previously stated, the ongoing effects that the Rachel's Challenge Assembly and Family has had on us, I would like to call upon the chain reaction. Now, it does not only affect oneself, but others around us too. This causes a friendlier, warmer, and safer atmosphere. People would always reach out to each other, if need be, but it seemed rather forced. They would do this on the fact alone that it was the right thing to do, not like they were genuinely concerned or cared. Now, after the Rachel's Challenge, it does not only occur more often, it is as if people are going the extra mile to voluntarily help those in need. Finding is a chance of bettering their community. The Rachel's Challenge Assembly has made everyone more self-aware, and they are now more liable to take responsibility for their actions, allowing everyone to feel safe and at home. And now my colleague Jake Grace would like to lead you in the Rachel's Challenge pledge. Would everyone please rise and raise their right hand? Please repeat after me. Respect and recognize. Individual differences. As we support. Diversity. Treat others. The way you wish. To be treated. Believe in yourself. And dream big always. Eliminate toxic talk. While promoting positive communications. With others. Forgive yourself and others. For mistakes made. Undertake. Small acts of kindness. Hold your head high. As an upstander. Extend a helping hand. To anyone. Who needs you. Thank you. You are now part of the Rachel's Challenge family. Now my colleague will pass out Rachel's Challenge chain link strips so you can flip around and be part of the Rachel's Challenge chain reaction.
Lizzie.
We would like you to write on your chain link, "I have given up my time." Willingly, for the betterment of all. Thank you. You are now part of the Rachel's Challenge chain reaction.
You don't get to keep them.
At this time, we would like to open the floor to questions. Any of us will be able to address your questions.
How would another school get this program started? Who would they need to contact and what would they need to do?
The question is, how would another school hear about this program? You can yeah.
They certainly could contact our school or myself, and then I could direct them to their national contact at Rachel's Challenge.
Can you announce the school name and where you're located? And I know we said in the beginning, but let's remind them.
Okay. Our school is called Joyce Kilmer Middle School, and we are in Milltown. Are there any other questions?
It's not a question, but I want to compliment you all on your presence and how well you spoke, and the information that you gave to us.
Thank you.
Would one of you be able to share with us your personal experience as to what transpired when you actually saw this assembly and how it has impacted your life?
Well, it shocked me that there was someone who was so freely open to help others at all times of the day. She was never more willing to help or less willing to help at other times. No matter how she was feeling herself, she would go help others. And that has inspired me to be like her.
Well, I think the fact of the matter is that bullying happens a lot more than people realize. And you may not know it, but your child might be bullied, or your friends might be bullied at work or at school or anywhere, really. But when Rachel's Challenge came, the teachers and the staff and just everyone just opened their eyes and saw that even the people who were being bullied were people too. That we all deserve to have the same treatment that everyone else does. And I know that I was always teased and my friends were always teased. And after Rachel's Challenge, we have a better life and we have more friends. And it's just better for all of us.
After this program, I realized that I am a human and I make mistakes. And that being human, there is a place in my heart to forgive. And Rachel and her program has showed me that I can forgive anyone and anywhere that I have convicted a, well, not so much of a nice comment or a nice action, but she has made me realize that I can forgive and that people will accept my forgiveness.
After this assembly, I realized that everyone should be treated the same, even if they're not so nice to you, or even if they've never been your friend, or you've never talked to them or even said hi. They still should be treated like your best friend, and everyone's basically your family in a small town like Milltown, so you really have to be nice.
After the assembly, I was more mindful of what I was going to say and what my actions were going to be. I was more mindful to others, see if they're hurt, if anything's going wrong. I'm always there for them. So.
After Rachel's Challenge assembly,
I was inspired by Rachel and what I heard about Rachel, to be more like her, to be helpful, and to learn kind acts really aren't just picking up a pencil. You have to go beyond that, and I've learned to be more kind and use genuine kindness to others, and I've learned to be more open now, and now I have a lot more friends, and I've had friendships that I never knew I could have. So.
Okay, after Rachel's challenge, it wasn't just like a self change, it was more like an atmospheric change. Like, yeah, there would always be like a group of friends over there and a group of friends over there. But after Rachel's challenge, I just remember everyone was hugging and everyone was apologizing for everything, and everything is just a lot more like cozy now.
After the assembly, I learned really just not like judge anybody just by what they wear, how they look, because it's just kind of mean. And that you should really just watch what you say before you say it, because you never know how much somebody's going to take that. And if you say something mean, it could like ruin someone's day.
After the assembly, I learned that you don't really know what someone's going through, and even just saying something like, "Hi, how's your day going?" or "Good morning," it could really brighten up their day and make them feel better about themselves.
Well, from the day you go to school, they tell you that bullying's bad and you should never talk bad about people. But I think Rachel's challenge really broke the surface on this. And it really taught you that you can never be too kind, and always suggest, looking for the word, always just be nice.
After Rachel's challenge, I learned to always forgive yourself and others, and that you never know what someone's going through, so always think of them before you speak. So, you always want to think before you act or say something.
Are there any other questions?
I must echo her also. This is an excellent program, and I just wondered, is there a possibility, being that you guys are almost like pioneers as far as bullying goes, would you actually go from school to school personally and show you guys assembly? Yes. Mm-hmm. That's great.
Parents and the superintendent allows us to.
Are there any additional questions?
I just have a comment that I'd like to make. I'm floored by your presentation here tonight. It's really commendable on your behalf to take such an initiative. I could understand and relate to where you're coming from and how important this is, because I had a family member that was bullied, my granddaughter. And this hits home. And how you said that people don't realize how much bullying is going on. And I think it's so important that everyone takes this and brings this awareness to other people and let them know how important it is, because I could see by all of you, you are going to flourish in your careers no matter what path that you take. You will certainly excel, and I commend you and thank you for your presentation tonight.
Excellent job.
As you can see, this is a valuable program that has greatly changed the culture in our school. The Rachel's Challenge students have supported many programs, including the Ronald McDonald House, where students willingly gave items to donate, and we have eliminated the word retard from our everyday vocabulary, supporting the word, spread the word to end the word, and supporting many other programs. So now we have one last question for you as the Freeholders. How can we assist you with what you do in the community?
I didn't hear the question.
How can we assist you?
Sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We would very much like that. Thank you very much for all.
I think I speak on behalf of all of us when I say that. That would be wonderful.
That's right.
Better look out, Jim. She's getting ready.
Penn Chester has suggested that we should video. You can also provide a copy of this videotape, which goes out to
All our
local community partners. Provide a copy to the school, make this available so that we can help get the word.
Thank you. So how can we assist you with what you do in the community?
I think what we can do is, there's a county superintendent of schools.
Right.
I think we can be in touch with him and get him to encourage him to get the word out to the local schools about this program.
Okay.
And you could present.
Working our way up.
Okay.
Thank you all very much for your time. We all appreciate it greatly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get all the members of the Freeholder Board to come up for this photo?
Sure.
Well, as I think we'd like to ask for another round of applause for these wonderful students and this great program. I would like to also ask all the staff and parents who are with us tonight, if you would please stand for a round of applause. Thank you so much. Those of you who are with us this evening from the school, parents in the back, thank you for being with us. It's interesting as the students are leaving, they spoke so beautifully tonight, but it is somewhat bewildering how such a simple concept of being nice and compassionate seems such a difficult thing for us individually and collectively to wrap our arms around. But hopefully tonight they've given us some guidance and some light to be able to see the possibilities of what we're capable of doing. And thank you very much, and a safe trip home to all of you. Thank you very much, Director. Well, we have a lot of presentations this evening. Thank you very much for your patience, but I certainly think it was time well invested. I'd like to now ask Joe Krizza, who is our Director of Public Safety, to come up apropos of tonight's presentation regarding tolerance and the programs that we're implementing within our schools to try to make Middlesex County a better place to live. We've asked Joe to also prepare a brief presentation on some of the other programs that we've developed in the county that are geared towards our youth, our teens, and the type of opportunities and education that we're providing throughout Middlesex County. Joe?
Thank you, sir. Good evening. It's going to be a tough act to follow with those children tonight. But I am very proud because I am a Milltown resident. My children went to Milltown schools, and Dr. Madison, who is outside, who's the superintendent, is very aggressive thinking in tolerance and diversity training. So it's very pleasing to see how well those children did tonight. So, good evening. Again, my name is Joseph W. Kriza, and I serve as the Middlesex County Department Head for Public Safety and Health. I have been asked to provide an overview of Middlesex County's community-based approach to preventing youth violence. Nationally, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, through their fact sheets, have identified youth violence resulting in both physical and mental injuries being reported at alarming proportions. It has also revealed that youth violence is the second leading cause of death for young people between the ages of 10 and 24, and considers this a health problem. Federally, the following recommendations have been made in preventing youth violence. Parent and family-based programs that improve family relations. Parents receive training on child development. They also learn skills for talking with their children and solving problems in nonviolent ways. Social development strategies that teach children how to handle tough situations. They learn how to resolve problems without utilizing violence. Mentoring programs that pair an adult with a young person. The adult serves as a positive role model and helps guide the young person's behavior. Changes made to the physical and social environment. These changes address the social and economic causes of violence. As you can see, and you even heard tonight, Middlesex County takes a community-based approach. The county and its Office of Human Services offers hundreds of programs annually in cooperation with our partners, the municipalities, our faith-based groups, our charitable organizations, our schools, as you heard tonight, social service agencies, associates, and the community itself. Middlesex County incorporates a community-based, multi-dimensional approach to preventing youth violence. As you can see from this slide, Middlesex County addresses and exceeds all the national recommendations for preventing youth violence. Our programs and initiatives include all the listed components, as well as the combination of these core concepts in different efforts to reduce and prevent youth violence. Some examples of Middlesex County's community-based programs include: in 2000, the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office received grant funding to partner with the community in identifying and addressing specific areas that directly affected Middlesex County residents. These forums attracted hundreds of individuals who participated. They identified the following areas: youth and young adult concerns, domestic violence, gangs and community impact, alcohol and traffic safety, understanding and improving race relations, community leadership issues, and drug awareness. Once these areas were identified, in a direct attempt to improve the quality of life for all residents, each respective focus group provided recommendations, suggestions, strategies, and potential solutions concerning their topic area. The information gleaned from these forums were actually the genesis and foundation for many of our current county initiatives. Over the past 5 years, Middlesex County Public Safety offices have conducted in excess of 700 educational programs focusing on a multitude of youth-related issues. These forums had featured topics addressing bullying, cyberbullying, stranger danger, internet and gun safety, alcohol and drug education, gang awareness and recruitment, career days, safety initiatives, tolerance, and understanding. In addition to educating our youth, these educational efforts are also conducted for school teachers, administrators, counselors, the police, and the community itself. It has always been Middlesex County's philosophy that a broad-based education outreach effort can serve to prevent and deter criminal activity while simultaneously enhancing the community's awareness of and recognizing the signs of such activity. This educational outreach effort has touched approximately 50,000 county youths over the past 5 years. The Middlesex County Department of Public Safety and Health, in concert with the Family Court of New Jersey Juvenile Division, have created and conducted over the past several years the Youth Development Academy, or YDA. The YDA, which is held twice annually, targets at-risk youths between the ages of 13 and 17 who are already in the juvenile justice system or who are currently on probation. Each program hosts between 25 and 30 youths spanning over 6 consecutive weekends, held both on Saturday and Sunday. The core curriculum covers components of physical activity, personal enrichment, anger management, life skills, gang awareness, and field trips, which demonstrate the dangers of driving under the influence as well as distracted driving. The YDA also provides materials to parents and/or guardians for their education and to support the program's initiatives. The YDA culminates in a graduation ceremony which is attended by parents, guardians, counselors, invited guests, and the YDA staff itself. Middlesex County is currently hosting a YDA program with a graduation date scheduled for April 29th of this year. The Clean Slate, or CS, is a grant-funded program that is also conducted twice annually, targeting youths who are considered at risk. These youths are products of the Station House Adjustment Program and have not yet entered the criminal justice system. Through CS intervention, these youths are exposed and lectured on such topics as gang awareness, cyberbullying, employment, mentoring, and various other life skills, including nutrition. The program spans 6 consecutive Wednesdays from 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. A key and integral element of this program is the mentoring by an officer, a police officer, from the youth's local police department. Since 2007, the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office, in concert with the Middlesex County Superior Court Family Division, have been conducting a program referred to as Wake Up Call. This program is designed for juveniles who have had minor juvenile delinquency offenses to assist them in making rational, prudent, and life-changing decisions. It is the program's purpose that this will serve to deter any future delinquent behavior. This one-day program is facilitated at the Middlesex County Adult Correction Center. Attendees, accompanied by their parents, are addressed by a Middlesex County Assistant Prosecutor and investigators from the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office Outreach and Education Unit. Agenda topics include gang awareness, cyberbullying, and an explanation of the juvenile justice system and its process. In addition, inmates currently serving sentences at the Correctional Center, share their life experiences, targeting the concept, you don't want to be where I've been. In March, the Office of Human Services, Division of Addiction and Mental Health Planning, sponsored a young man's conference entitled Boys to Men, Decisions Made Today Define My Tomorrow. Over 80 male high school students of varying ethnic backgrounds attended, representing 7 Middlesex County schools. Topics featured breakout sessions, including assessing the increasing level of violence that young men face in their communities, identifying indirect victims of the violence and solution-based theories, valuing cultural diversity and minority populations, and empowering young men with decision-making skills to enhance the potential for positive outcomes in their life. Also, navigating college pitfalls, plotting a journey to higher education. Representatives included, presenters who were represented there included a local NFL player and a former NFL player, college professors, treatment and community-based professionals. An inspirational keynote address was delivered by the principal of a turnaround school in Trenton, who featured the impact of music on the lives of young men. Kitty Keepwell Camp, in conjunction with Middlesex County, offers a 2-week summer overnight camp experience to low-income, at-risk children between the ages of 6 and 12. Educational opportunities include an anti-bullying component, a longer leadership program for counselors in training, and summer employment opportunities for former campers ages 16 and over. The Nurse Family Partnership, or NFP, is an evidence-based program that exists through a collaboration between United Way and the Visiting Nurses Association, both of Central New Jersey. It was the second NFP site in New Jersey and has become a signature program for success in helping first-time moms living in Middlesex County and Franklin Township. Nationally, the Nurse Family Partnership has a positive impact on children and mothers. National statistics reveal 48% reduction in child abuse and neglect, 59% reduction in arrest, 90% reduction in adjudications as persons in need of supervision for incorrigible behavior. These are just some of the examples of the featured programs that are conducted in Middlesex County. Middlesex County takes our responsibility seriously of protecting our most valuable resource, which is our youth and our future. Middlesex County, along with our partners, will continue our commitment and relentless approach in an effort of reducing youth violence in all 25 Middlesex County municipalities throughout our multi-dimensional community-based approach. On the slide here, you will see my contact information. If you have any questions or comments regarding any of these programs or any of the information that I have provided, my contact information is there, my phone number is there, my electronic address is there, as well as my mailing address. I would like to end by thanking our community-based partners and the community itself for their continued assistance, input, and support. In addition, I would like to thank and commend the County Board of Chosen Freeholders for their continued support of all the programs, their dedication, and unwavering commitment in keeping Middlesex County the greatest county in the land. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Freeholder. Deputy Director Ron Rios.
Thank you, Director. As far as Human Resources report, our county, Middlesex County Human Resources Department and New Jersey Blood Services are hosting a blood drive for all our county employees, and if anyone else in the public would like to join, they can contact www.nybloodcenter.org. I'd also like to encourage all Middlesex County residents. We are hosting an annual Workers' Memorial Day service. It will be held on April 27th, and this is something that's near and dear to my heart, coming from the labor movement. It's where it's recognized by the AFL-CIO as National Workers' Memorial Day, which is actually the anniversary date of OSHA, and it will be held, our ceremony will be held on the corner of Patterson Street and Joyce Kilmer Avenue at the New Brunswick Wellness Plaza, or at the construction site of the New Brunswick Wellness Plaza. I encourage everyone to come, and it's to bring awareness on safety hazards on the job. Election Board, I'd like to remind everyone that June 5th is the primary election, and May 15th is the last day for registration to vote. Again, May 15th is the last day to register to be eligible to vote in the June primary. I'd like to also notify everyone our pancreatic cancer walk will be held on June 9th, and I had a meeting with Les Jones, our Director of Health, with the Cancer Institute of New Jersey in organizing our cancer walk. It will be held June 9th at 9 a.m. at Roosevelt Park, and I encourage everyone to please come on board and contribute to this cause. It's something that's very important. It doesn't get much funding, and it's a disease that's very deadly. I'd like to also make some observations as well. This year is our 50th anniversary for Plays in the Park. We're having 3 tremendous plays that will be performed: My Fair Lady, Damn Yankees, and Grease. And I think it's a tribute to our Parks Department and all our actors and our musicians, how successful these plays in the parks are year after year after year. And our Parks Department really made an effort to try to get spectacular plays for our 50th anniversary. And I think they're going to be, as usual, really, really good. Less than a year ago, we had groundbreaking ceremonies for the remediation and construction of an improvement of Medwick Park in Carteret. And at that time, we said it would be ready in mid-2012. We're, in fact, putting the finishing touches on that project, which includes a new soccer and football field, a synthetic football field, a multi-purpose field, new tennis courts, and a new playground, and many other facilities. And we will be announcing in the near future of when the dedication will be, which is probably somewhere around mid-May. I'd also like to report that my colleague, Freeholder Blanquita Valente, who couldn't be here, asked me to make a comment that April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we encourage everyone to just bring awareness to child prevention and make sure that we take care of our children and report any kind of problems that there are to protect the well-being of all our children and families. And I thank you for that report, for the time for my report, Director.
Thank you, Deputy Director. Freeholder Charlie Tamara.
Yep, just a few things to report on this evening. The Cultural Heritage Commission will be presenting Lights, Camera, and Action, which is the history of film in New Jersey from 1890 till 1960. This Sunday will be the opening, April 22nd from 2 to 4, and it's recommended that you call and make reservations. It will be at the Cornelius Low House, which is the Middlesex County Museum on 1225 River Road in Piscataway. Visitors of all ages will enjoy the history of filmmaking in New Jersey and can watch some of the silent films shown in the exhibit rooms. Visitors will receive a 20-page booklet about the history of film created by Thomas Alva Edison, The Great Train Robbery. One of the films on view at the museum, and amazing special effects way before computers. A friend of the museum has loaned them a popcorn maker, so there'll be plenty of popcorn for everybody to experience the old-time movies. Also, this has to do with Thomas Edison, on Sunday, June 9th, at 11 o'clock, I'm sorry, that's a Saturday, June 9th, at 11 o'clock, the Thomas Alva Edison Museum will be reopening after a 2-year reconstruction of the museum. And that's where, in the first time in history, there was a research and development lab constructed there, and over 400 of Edison's patents were done at that particular site. And the museum will be concentrating all about what he did in Menlo Park. You know, the light bulb, the recorded sound, the electric train, the transistor for the phone. Those are just some of the things that he did at that site in Edison, New Jersey. So we're very happy to announce that after 2 long years of many issues, especially with the building, with asbestos, contractor delays, new roofing, water heaters breaking, and you always run into those types of situations when something hasn't been done since 1940 to the building. So we invite everybody to come and enjoy that opening. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder. Mr. Kelso, you're on. Any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Resolutions to be amended?
We have one resolution that requires a minor amendment. That's Resolution 12-0786. The amendment is to change the wording from accept 2 sub-grant awards to authorize submission of 2 sub-grant applications.
Thank
that
you.
Require a roll call vote.
Okay. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Phil Tamara. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Volante?
Yes.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano?
Yes. Resolutions to be held?
There are none.
Resolutions to be voided?
There are none.
At this point in time, I'd like to open the meeting up to public for discussion on any resolutions on the agenda. Any resolutions on the agenda? Anyone from the public?
Hearing no public comment, I move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Tamara, seconded by Deputy Director Rios. Anybody have any items to be removed from the consent agenda and voted on separately? Hearing none. Mr. Kelso?
Director, a motion would then be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolutions numbers 12-0687 through resolution 12-0794.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Tamara. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Barrett Volante,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. At this point in time, I'd like to open the meeting up to public discussion on any item. Any item. Remember, there's a 5-minute rule.
Yeah, I'm Salam Ismail, National Director, United Youth Council Incorporated.
What's your address, sir?
513 Richmond Street, based in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Okay.
So we have a chapter here
Thank
in
you.
the Brunswick area. I'm here again, and excuse me for my cold and my wear. I was taking time away from my center to make sure I be here to address you, this body, once again. And it's a serious matter. I watched the PowerPoint display of various different kinds of programs and activities and initiatives to deal with the issue of violence. And probably every county have the same kind of thing: PowerPoint, initiative, programs, activities dealing with this issue. However, it's not good enough, because people on city streets are still dying, being injured, being threatened, and young people is at the brunt of it all. In this nation, 700,000 young people, youth, are injured. 6,000 died by way of homicide. The Center of Disease Control have announced in January that violence should be dealt with as a public health problem or crisis. Our organization, along with others, had banded together across the state to urge counties to declare violence a public health problem. Just as much as you believe in this PowerPoint display that was just presented to you all, obviously you must agree that there is a problem. And if you agree that there's a problem, then there should be no problem of declaring it, because there's nobody there's nobody, not only the disease control, but also the American Medical Association. I can name a list of other health-related agencies have also sided with this issue. We're asking that this freeholder, again, declare violence a public health and join in company with Union County, which came the first in the nation, followed by Essex County and Hudson County last week. And we expect other counties to join. Let this not be the county that say no. Secondly, we ask that a commission or advisory panel be developed to specifically deal with this issue of violence, particularly how it affects young people. Some of the things I heard is, no offense, is not relative to a lot of the urban and inner city kids. As much as you want to dress it up, colorize it, I've been dealing with this for 30 years. And I'm here to tell you that we need to examine the problem as it is of today, and then come up with comprehensive kinds of brand new type of effective programs, because it's not happening in New Brunswick. And there's no offense to other organizations that are operating. They just had another murder. And so what I'm saying to you all is, take a step, take politics aside and do the right thing. First, declare violence a public health. Okay, that's realistic and that's smart. And secondly, to consider a commission on violence, to specifically look at it from all spectrum. Why a 14-year-old can go to another 14-year-old and pull a trigger and shoot this individual and go to school the next day like it never happened with no remorse. So it's deeper than just doing a program. Now we got to analyze the problem itself, how deep this problem is. We can't just settle for just stabilizing the problem. We got to move towards ridden a problem. Because guess what? Anytime a bullet hits someone in the butt, it costs about $5,000 to $10,000 to pull a bullet out, and rehabilitation. So it's a cost factor. That young person in my area, my county, that shot the kid at the Skate 22, 16-year-old shot another 16-year-old. He died. The other one went to jail for about 7, 8 years. The kid lost his life. That kid that they're going to put in jail for 7, 8 years for manslaughter, probably going to cost probably about a couple $100,000. So what I'm saying to you, there's a cost factor, and we need to examine this, folks. And I want to say this, and I hate to play the race card, but sometimes folks want to think that this problem of violence is a black problem, an urban problem, inner city problem, or a poor kid problem. It didn't happen in Ohio. When that kid went inside that Ohio school and just fired his gun off.
Thank you, sir.
What I'm saying to you all is do the right thing and be smart.
Okay. Thank you. Next. Name and address, please.
Tormel Pittman, 46 Byers Street, New Brunswick.
Okay, thank you.
I just witnessed the assembly of the Rachel's Challenge. It's a very impressive program. I'm very impressed. But we also got to acknowledge that New Brunswick is up at a challenge also. You know, you just said April is the month of child abuse. And the county, Middlesex County, is fully aware that they've been housing kids in a warehouse for the last 7 years. Red Shaw School students have been going to school from a warehouse for the last 7 years. And if that's not child abuse, I don't know what is. And we need to, Red Shaw School on Jersey Avenue. You're looking with this confused look on your face. Jersey Avenue.
Jersey Avenue.
Yes, yes, sir.
By
Red
the
Shaw
unemployment
School.
office.
Across from the unemployment office.
Right.
You know, that's a major issue. So if April is the month of child abuse, let's look into why those kids are not only have been in a warehouse for 7 years, but they're anticipated to get out of that warehouse in 2015. So they're going to be in there in almost another 3 years. There's no development, there's no construction. There's billions of dollars of construction going on all throughout downtown. You can't even drive through downtown without seeing a construction site. But these kids have been in this warehouse for 7 years. So if that's not bullying, if that's not child abuse, I don't know what is. Another incident, like he said, a man was killed just a few days ago on Remsen Avenue, on the corner of Remsen Avenue and Hale Street. Now, just yesterday, there was 6 gunshots where they had to lock the entire New Brunswick High School down and the middle school. Now, if violence is not a major issue, I don't know what is. Imagine you getting a phone call from your child's school saying they had to lock the school down because they were afraid that your kid might get shot. I don't think any of those kids from out of Milltown ever had to experience something like that. But this is something that's uncommon to kids in New Brunswick. I don't think that them kids in Milltown have to walk through a metal detector every time they go to school. But this is something that's common in New Brunswick. I don't think the kids, when they get to high school in Milltown, have a police station that's implanted inside the school. But this is something that New Brunswick goes through. I don't like to play the race card either. But I was thoroughly impressed by those kids. And even you guys said they're going to have a very, very, very bright future. Can you say that same comment about kids that are going to elevate from a warehouse? That's all I have to say. I don't need the whole 5 minutes.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Copies for the freeholders. Hello, my name is Deborah Morgan. I live at 222 Bennett Street, Highland Park. I'm here on behalf of the New Brunswick area branch of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. I'm here in support of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People's Board of Directors and General Membership's position regarding youth violence. That position is youth violence is a public health emergency. We are asking you, the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, to adopt our position. We are asking you to draft and adopt a resolution declaring youth violence a public health emergency here in Middlesex County. The effects of violence in the community on its youth manifests itself in several measurable ways. Among them, but not limited to, is children in communities where there's a high level of violence often exhibit the same effects as post-traumatic stress disorder, as that of children being raised in a war zone. These same children are prone to high blood pressure as a result of stress. Learning is impeded because the focus needed for retaining educational information gets distracted because the children of violence are prone to many personal safety issues. And I see it was mentioned before, the Center for Disease Control has recognized youth violence as a public health problem in the United States. They have developed comprehensive guides, strategies, and resources to assist communities in achieving its goal in reducing youth violence. This is the framework to build on. Recognition of youth violence as a public health crisis will enable our community, New Brunswick area community, which is one of the municipalities that we cover. If we can bring these programs in, we can start to make a difference. If these issues are not addressed while the children are young, there is no question there will be a financial burden borne by society in the future as they age. The New Brunswick area branch of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People welcomes the opportunity to work with you, the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, local community organizations, as well as members of the law enforcement, and we are fully committing to solving the issue of youth violence. Please contact us. I'm here on behalf of the New Brunswick area NACP, Bruce Morgan, President. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public?
Motion to close.
Second. Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Fielder Tamara. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Fielder Tamara. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.